Okay.
Welcome.
So, good morning and good evening, everyone, wherever you join from different part of the world. And thank you very much, those who are planning to organize, basically Sanjay and Grijesh and Yogendra. So we are so grateful that you have joined our community today and trying to present these two key topics. One is the Power BI and the other one is the Power Automate, to understand the key aspects of Power BI advanced model data, modeling on the advanced data concepts, as well as the Power Automate by, synchronizing between Power BI and Power Automate. So without much further delay, I will hand it over to our organizer today, Sanjaya. Sanjaya, over to you.
Yeah. Hi everyone. So I hope you have joined all. I have already sent this notification to everyone to join. And thank you, Rakesh, for giving better concept on this platform. And we are also taking our time out for this community work, because we are taking time out for our personal time for the community. Means in return we will get a lot of things from the community. So today we will focus on two things. On one is for Power Platform, Power BI data modeling, which is advanced way of data modeling. And Girijas will also explain about how we can synchronize two environments of Power Platform using Power Automate. So this session gonna be very exciting. So you will learn a lot. And if you have any question, you can send in the chat box, so that we can after the session of everyone, we can discuss about the question and answer, and the speaker will answer all of your questions. So without wasting any time, let us start. So I will hand over to Jogendra to start his topic. Jogendra, over to you. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you, Sanjay. Let me start sharing my screen and let me know you guys when you can see my screen.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Perfect. So thank you so much everyone for joining. Okay, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. In the session today, I'm going to cover Power BI advanced data modeling techniques and how we can create some advanced measure and how we can use those in that report. My name is Yogendra Bharadwaj. I go by Yogi. I am MCP, as you can see, and I have certified in data analytics and data Azure engineer. If you guys want to reach out to me, you can see my LinkedIn URL. You can reach out to me. Before I go and start the survey, I just want to get the quick idea about the audience. If you guys can go to slido.com and you can use this code 743294. Okay, we will just spend like a 1.5 minute on this activity, and then we quickly jump for the session. So if you can just go to that, in a mobile, you can type slido.com and the number is 743294. I cannot see how many participants has joined. Okay, but whenever you start answering this question, the first question is, in one word, what you would like to take away from this training or this session? Learn advanced concept. Okay, 5 more seconds, then I will move to next question quickly. Yep. Perfect. So it looks like, the entire audience, right? They all are interested in the topic that we have decided to present here today. Oh, embedded Power BI. Okay. I can take that as a takeaway from myself. And maybe in upcoming sessions, we can plan something for embedded. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for this question. I'll move next question. Just to get the idea of your expertise level, how proficient you are in Power BI. Yep, I will just wait for two more active participants because last question, 8 people answered. Perfect. So guys, don't worry, whoever rated for one, I am going to start the same with your level. Okay, and gradually we pick up the speed. This is the last question regarding DA 100 training and certifications. What's your plan? Like a UI is already done, or you are planning, or you're looking for some help as well? Okay, looks like you guys still have not planned. That's okay.
No, but it's showing, Jogendra, it's showing voting closed. That's why we are not able to vote it.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. What you can do, you can put the information in the comment box, and we can take it from there.
Okay.
Perfect. So let's jump to the data modeling. This is the picture, whoever, following the LinkedIn, it was circulating and for last, 3 or 4 days. Somebody has created this very nice image to explain what is data modeling. So if you can see on the first image, right, the data, whenever somebody asks you to create the report, you get like this data. Just a second. So you get like data this. Okay, wherever you go, normally you find or raw data or the data that you are available for reporting is very messy. First of all, you have to sort the data. Okay, already you can say understand the data, analyze the data. Then you arrange the data. Then finally you make the data to presentable position. But it's still the final story that we have to present. If you see the difference between this image, the last image, where you can see the nice house built with these bricks or Legos. Okay, so it's entirely depend upon how perfectly you have created your data models. If is there any issues in your data models, definitely at the end of when you're presenting the data, you're creating the story of your data, it is going to be impacted. Why it is so important? Because if you have nicely done the data modeling, it's easy to understand your data. I have an Excel file that I'm going to show you the raw data and the data that is split into multiple tables. It's easy to understand. Second thing is it's increase the performance as well. So your report performance. Not only the report performance on visual as well, right? You see like filtering and everything, right? It runs very fast. Next is the enhanced report and data usability. So if data in the format that everybody can understand, right? So business people can also utilize your data model. Increase resolution to change. So when once your model is ready, and if you really have created nice and perfect model, it's easy to adapt the new upcoming changes or anything happening in the report. I believe so far so good. If you guys have any questions, please put in the comment box. And my colleague Sanjay and Greece is to help us. You know, when you say data modeling, right? So, okay, what I have to do with the data modeling? So in data modeling, there is two majorly popular schemas are there. Star schema and snowflake schema. For Power BI standpoint, star schema is the most popular schema. Very rarely, based upon your requirement, you can try to use a snowflake schema. But in nutshell, if you see, everywhere we are using a star schema as much as possible. Here you have two types of tables. One is the fact table and another is the dimension table. Fact table, which store your transactional data, and dimension table, you can say kind of master tables for you. We will view in the Excel how it looks, and then you can see the relationship is here, right? You can have one to many, one to one, many to many, multiple type of relationship between dimension and fact table. But always you can have one active relationship and you can have multiple inactive relationships. But active is only is there. Yeah, today I was reading a very interesting article, and on the post on the LinkedIn, right? Somebody says if really he wants to understand the difference between a star schema and a snowflake, they are saying a star schema is kind of a love marriage. So you have everything you can directly talk to yours. So fact table directly talk to dimension table. That's how they are saying case love marriage. So you don't need any intermediate person. But a snowflake schema, you need a mediator. So you can see on the right hand side, table 1 is talking to table 2 and table 2 is talking to table 3. So and they were saying this is arranged marriage. So star schema is love marriage and snowflake schema is arranged marriage. Okay. So let's go for quickly demo. Okay. If you can see, this is our target for today. We will try to create similar kind of dashboard here. Okay. And here, if you can see, I have left hand side menu where I can go for my next page or I can come back to my home page. Here you can see my profit sales amount growth by device, a different type of visual. So I'm not going to bore you with this, but here you can see, right? You can see the different region wise information and all. And similarly, if you go to the year view, you can see by year, like how things are moving or how progress you are making in the sales and all. Okay, so let's go to first our Excel file. If you can see our raw data, this is the raw data. And here you can see, right, what happened in normally in transaction tables. In data warehouse, you find most of the properties associated to the particular row in the same line. And using this, if you are going to use this, it's very It will increase, first of all, your database file size. It will affect your performance. And if you are using a drop-down, it takes time to load the drop-down values and respective results as well. And also, it's hard to understand as well. Okay? And if you are, what do you say, if you're creating measures and all, you have to put so many filters on this. If you can say this is my raw data, but what I have done actually, I have split the same data in different tables as well. For products, I have split this. For geolocation, I have split another information. For sales, another table. Whatever you see here from campaign, customer, product, geolocation, and sales, everything is extracted from the raw data. Still, there are some work we have to do on this table. Okay. So maybe you guys have the question, right? Okay, in Excel is fine, but what if I'm bringing my information from Oracle or SQL or Synapses or any other databases, right? So in my opinion and in my experience, always what I try to do, as much as my data model preparation work I can do at the database side, I always prefer to do that there. So if I have to do any merging or massaging, like whatever is possible that I can do at the database level, I always try to offload that stuff from the Power BI side, because it helps you to data refresh time as well. So when your report data is getting refreshed, your data flow is getting refreshed, your data set is getting refreshed, it's easy at that time. It's refresh fast, because most of the part that you can handle at database level that you have done there already. But there are few things that really you can do, and you can take the control within the Power BI file that you can do at the Power BI level, but it's depend report to report requirement. But in my practice, I normally always try to do as much as work I can do at the database side. So if I go here, this is the same Excel file I have imported here. This is the file that I am using. Okay, I have imported here my file, and these are the columns are here actually. But if you see in this, what is the problem in this table now? In this table, if you see my category and segment, product ID and product is one-to-one mapping, but category and segment is complete, is keep repeating actually. Yeah. And if I need to create a drop down on this and I have 1 million of rows, it will take time to load the drop down and results as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a separate dimension table for category and segment together and remove these columns here. So first of all, before the decision I'm making, because I have already studied this database, understand the client requirement and their requirement and legal aspect and everything. Okay, how long, what type data format can we change, what kind of alignment I can do and all. So now I've decided, okay, I can remove these two, category and segment, from here, and so I can save the size as well, and I also I can clean some data as well. So here you can see, right, I have two options: duplicate and reference. As initially I was asking your proficiency level in Power BI, and the high percentage was for a beginner or learner. So I can explain this duplicate and reference. If in case of duplicate, there will be a two table, those are directly talking to your database or data source. But if we are using a reference table, in that case, it's sequential. So what happened, right? Let me make the copy for this. You can see product is my first table and product 2 is my second table. So what happened in case of reference? First of all, my product table is going to be loaded. Once my product table is loaded, completed successfully, then product 2 table loading will start, but product 2 data source is output of product. Output of product. So whatever the transformation you are performing there in product, it is automatically going to be available for you in product 2. But there is a disadvantage as well. If you are making a changes in product table or that product 2 need that information, in that case, product 2 is going to be stop working and you have to fix that. So advantage, disadvantage, both are there, but I see the advantage is only one time data loading is happening. There is a sequential processing is happening, but one time data loading is happening. But in case of duplicate, it's a parallel processing. So both table will get the data from your data source. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to create a reference duplicate table. Okay. And what I was talking about, right? We need only category and segment. I will just select my 2 columns. Right click any one of the selected column, and you can say remove other columns. So now I have only 2 columns here, but still I have the repeated value. If you see what I can do, I can go right click and say remove duplicate. So if you see right here, I have so many values, but after removing duplicates, I have only these number of values. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a ID here. Index column starting from 1. I will make it first. And I'm going to rename this table as a cat tag dim. The category segment dimension. And similarly, I am going to give the name to index column as well. Like ID. Now I have my dimension category segment dimension table ready, and as you can see, right there, this information was keep repeating for each and every product, but now we have limited only for this 9 rows. Now I will go back to my product table. What I will do, I will select these 2 columns, transform, home, and I will click the merge. So before I do that, what I'm going to do, what I want, I would like to delete these 2 columns here because I have already created a new table where I am having the corresponding values there. But parallelly, I have to create a mapping. So the value mapping is there. So we can say, okay, for this product ID, category and segment ID is belong to this ID. So for that, I am merging my table. So I'm merging my product table with get checked in. I can select these 2 columns and these 2 columns. Okay, so you can say composite key or whatever you say, right? But we are matching those 2 columns. And based upon that, I have now reference here. And what I am going to do, I am going to uncheck category and segment because I don't need, because it's already in the category dimension table is there. I need only category segment ID. I'll uncheck this part as well. So because I don't want to have the prefix for my table. And I can see now I have IDs. So if you guys do simple math, right? Simple math, how much size number is taking and how much size these two columns are taking, you will see we are saving not only saving the space as well, making easy readable format as well. Now, as I already have the reference, I am going to delete these two. So now I have less column here, and also I have option to category and segment out. Similarly, what we can do here for customer is fine. Campaign is there. Let me go check the main file. Okay. Okay, so here, right, similarly, you can do the same thing for region and district as well. Region, district, and country. Okay, so the similar approach you can do here as well. Okay, so now I'm going to apply this. And Sanjay, is there any question in the chat window?
Okay, so yeah, someone is asking that can you share your data sheet so that it would be helpful to practice?
Yep, I will.
Okay.
And there is one website that I normally use, so it can help you to create the data format that whatever you want.
Okay.
So definitely, first of all, I will share the file that I have, but I will share the URL as well, because based upon the requirement, you can define the columns there and it generates the data for you.
Right. Okay, that's great. That was the only question we had. And also there is another question. Someone asked that application of Power BI in MS Dynamics. What is the application of Power BI in Dynamics?
Okay, let me read the question. Application of Power BI in Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, so as you can see, right, in Microsoft CRM Dynamics, right, you are collecting all the information, right? That's your transactional system. Now, to bring the value out, right, if I will go and share my picture again, right, so you can see, right, CRM is giving you information like this. There are views and other options are there, but those are not in the proper format, like not the right proper format, like not the graphically representative or interactive thing, right? But using the data, you can create nice dashboard and reports. I think am I answering the question, right?
Yes, yes. So,
Girish, you want to add anything? Please feel free to jump in.
The best usage of Power BI, basically we use to create a dashboard for the reporting purpose. In fact, the management reporting. So the Power BI basically is the way for data cleansing. You can plot a clear, crystal reports on the Dynamics 365 dashboard for the reporting perspective. So that all the filtering criteria that you already shown, it's all come with the Power BI. Power BI, I want to say the basic characteristic by way we do the data filtering and all those things. So this basically we in Dynamics 365 we harness all these capabilities of Power BI in terms of reporting, whether to show the data on the dashboard or in the MIS reporting also.
Yep. Perfect. So if you can see, right, first so let's go here first, right? So whatever table you have created, right, first you have to make sure your relationship is established properly the way you want. And I'm not sure you guys have noticed or not, but if you see, this is the new table that I have created. But I have not created any relationship over there. But if you can see here, the relationship is already established. Because Power BI is so smart tool, based upon your data, based upon your column name, it runs so many things behind the scene and try to create those relationships automatically for you. Okay, definitely you can go and review, all the relationships set up properly and all, but so many work that it does automatically for you. Okay. Next thing, before I go and create a new report or anything, right? Let me take one more, cover one more topic as well, because I know most of you already know how to create the reports, but data is the major part that how you can create the data. If I go back to transformation section here again, right? On top here, you can see so many options you have for transformation. Okay, if you go to transformation tab, here I'm not going to pick any one because it's most of the things are self-explanatory and all. So, but using these transformation action, you can perform the transformation on your data. You can display it. You can create formulas and all. One thing that I like working in this transformation section is very much is advanced editor. Because I'm coming from the code background, I used to develop my .NET application and all. And there is something that it's helped me to work faster sometime. Okay. Or if I need to copy paste something, because what happened, right? If I am performing some type of transformation here and I need the similar transformation in other place, what I do, I go advanced editor, copy those lines and make the add those lines into my new table and done. Only one trick that I can tell you, never ever go and directly apply here. First, always use your notepad or notepad plus plus. Take the backup of your previous one. In one of the my previous session, somebody was asking for two questions actually. So number one, they're saying what is the undo command here? Because we all are Microsoft favorite persons. Okay, we all like our undo command, but here is no such undo command, but it's much better than that. You can see the right hand side, the cross, these are your undo commands. So whatever transformation you perform on this model, everything is getting created as a steps. So let me show you quickly, right? Here you can see my units, right? These all are units by number, right? So, but if you can see here is alphanumeric. So what I will do, I will go and change a whole number. And it's added a new. Also, as a best practice, I always suggest to go and rename this, say unit data type change instead of change type. Because what happened, right, when you have to revisit and understand which step what is happening, it's hard to understand until unless you go and read the code and all. I always suggest to modify or rename this. So this is how the undo command works here. And also right here the option is for move before and move after. So if you say, okay, I think you should perform this step before this step, then you can go and move the steps. And again, it's very smart enough until unless you created some complex one, it automatically manages the stuff for you. Okay. If when you are connecting to database, one thing that I see like here, actually, if you say view native query, it is not coming because my data is coming from Excel. If it's coming from any database, that view native query get enabled for you. And the best part is if you're connected to database, always try to perform the operations that let's example where clause and selecting top records or some number of records. Because what happened, right? Whatever you see in the view native query, that's the exact complete SQL command going to execute at your DB level. So at least whatever step can be covered there, it is not going to be executed inside your Power BI. Because that's become a SQL statement now. So it's go and run, execute the DB level, and you get that steps. Next thing is, okay, so now this is the tool actually I like very much. Power BI helper. It's if you go and do the Google, right, you will simply find this tool, Power BI helper, and once you install, it's installed for you as the external tool, and you can see Power BI helper. And Tableau editor is the another tool. Okay, the benefit for the Power BI helper is one that I like, it generates the documentation for you. Maybe you have so many columns, multiple tables and all, and you start working on a report. After working a report, because your work is done, maybe you spend not much time. Okay, how to clean my data model now? So if you generate the report, that reports clearly give you the information what all tables are there those are not used, what all are the columns those are not used, measures and all. So it's very simple tool. If I close this, if I go to Power BI helper, it's open. Now you can say connect to model. So it will connect to all the applications, Power BI application, those are running right now. So if you can see, my 3 files are open, 3 Power BI files are open. So it's connected and it can tell you, okay, tables, columns, measure, everything you can see here. Okay. Everything that you can see here. Then it also did the postmortem of your visuals as well, Power BI visuals as well. So here you can see related information. Now I will go for the documentation. This is the part that I like very much. It generates the documentation for you. So I have already generated the document because it takes like a 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, but if you can click this button, create Power BI file document, it will help. It will generate the file for you, and it will give you the HTML file. Let me come here, and if you can see, this is the file that is generated for me. Power BI documentation, list of pages, visuals, how many visuals you have. Okay, all the visual informations. Okay, list of table used in visuals, list of table not used in visuals. So if you see, these are the tables that I am not using anywhere. List of table not used in visual. List of columns, sorry. So first one was the column and then the visual. So what happened, right? So what I have to do with this information? So before I go of the list of table, right? So okay, you can say, okay, now what? If something this is saying, okay, these are the column not in used. I will say still you go and cross verify. Really, this particular column is used anywhere or not, directly or indirectly. But if it's not in used, I would suggest delete it. My recommendation is delete this column from your model. So whenever you are making enhancement in a model, generate the documentation, and using this report, you will know, okay, what all the stuff you really need, and whatever you don't need it. So whatever you don't need it, I would say delete it. Then you can say all the list of table, right? The code and everything you can see right here. Relationship, everything, whatever you have in a Power BI file, everything is here. Okay, you guys can go through, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to help you. Now, last thing, right? I can see local data table. So what happened, right? I would say in 2020, Power BI was not providing a data table option, sorry, a date table option, but now it's providing a date table option. So I would say always create a custom date table for you. If we say, I go back to my model again, if you can see, this is my custom date table that I have created. Okay, custom date table. And if you can see here, I am taking the sales date, min and max value, and based upon that, I'm creating this date table. And then if you can see here, mark as a date table. Select the column, you can see, hit OK. So it will create a date table. So what happened, right? In this scenario, if you're using this practice, you will have only one date table in your model, and there is no cache table as well. But if you are using a date column directly from your table, in that case, you will have multiple date tables. No, multiple date table, not here, but behind the scene. Hidden tables, those are hidden tables. Okay, so documentation is that something I like very much here. What else? Sanjay, any question in the chat window?
No, not yet. We do not find any questions right now.
Okay.
But someone has asked that what is the advantage of Power BI over SSRS reports? There is some reporting structure we have already built, in SQL Server reporting service.
Agree.
And what is the advantage about that?
Okay. I don't know. So
to be honest, the Power BI is used to, that mostly it is for data cleansing, and we can use rich set of controls to create, different types of charts and visualization with a beautiful look and feel reports and dashboards. So that's what we can speak at this moment for the answer of this question. Okay. So also the most important thing is who has asked this? Santosh asked this. So the most important thing is Power BI is used for cloud applications, business intelligence. That means you can connect to any data source which are present in cloud applications, whether it is Salesforce or anything you can think of. So it's actually purposefully built for cloud business intelligence. Although it is also allowed to connect your Power BI, local or on-premise data sets, but mostly it is focused on cloud applications to build powerful visualizations on a dashboard with reportings. Okay, now that's what I can tell, and you are agree with me, right, Vagendra?
yep, absolutely.
So that's why Power BI, everyone is talking about Power BI. Now, I think you have completed your session, right, Jogen?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay. So thank you so much. It was a great session, and we have learned many things on data modeling and how different types of relationship is auto built by artificial intelligence of Microsoft Power BI, and we will also implement in our projects whenever we need. Now I will request to Girijesh to start his session on integration part of Power Apps, so that he can explain about how we can synchronize two environments using Power Automate.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for all the hosts who has organized this session, and I'm honored to speak here. Whatever the knowledge which I'm catering on the Power Platform and some Power Automates, so that I'll share along with some demonstration, basically how we can synchronize two Dynamics 365 environment, whether they are in the same region or whether they are in a different region by the Power Automate. So let me share my screen first. So can you see my screen, everyone?
Yep, I can see.
Okay, fine. That's great.
Yep, we can see that screen.
So first of all, a small introduction. It's me. Basically, I work with KPMG Malta, and I started my journey in 2015, late 2015. I was a Dynamics developer. Before that, I was working as a ASP.NET developer. A passionate towards the Microsoft technology, especially on the low-code platform, business app development. Nowadays, I'm exploring much on Azure bit. Basically, I'm learning Azure because in the future it's going to be cloud. Basically, if you're good in a cloud, then you can easily build the bridges that by which you can connect the two systems, as well as our data flow system all basically writes in a like Azure Data Factory in Azure. So that's why it's a core interest area nowadays. The best. I'm a backpacker. During off my work, I love traveling. I love drive and to explore new areas. So it's all about me. The first of all, we'll discuss the business case that we are going to cover, and then basically some quick fact about the Power Automate, why it's so in use, and what is the benefit, what's the plan, what are the connectors that I'll discuss in the section. Then we'll have a demo on basically I'll create a two Power Automate that will cater data from one environment to other environment, and last a Q&A. To catering data to synchronize two environments, there are a number of options available. Like we can use the Azure Data Factory ADF, or maybe you can use the old SSRS model to transport data from one system to other. The Kingsway soft adapter, which comes with the rich toolset and that you can use with the Dynamics for better for usage, or maybe you can for better configuration. The third option that we can write on a set of APIs, custom code. Basically, we can write a wrapper classes, and we can write an API that can act like a bridge between two systems. The next thing, like on the Azure offering, we are having logic apps that can act like a bridge between two systems. And last, the Power Automate. And apart from this, the consideration, we are having few other ways to synchronize the two systems. But all the design consideration depend upon what exactly the cost, the size of data, and other factors also. That's all involved. So for this demonstration, there are some prerequisites. Like suppose we are the objective is like I'll create an incidents cases in a one Dynamics 365 environment, and on the same time that will replicate to the other environment. But yeah, there must be some reference data like account contact that use on the cases. So that must be on the same set of data on the both environment. That's why this is a kind of prerequisite that we have to see. The user who's basically running the Power Automate should have access on environments. Like basically we will create a application user that will use for this Power Automate, and here's the Power Automate licensing. So the source environment, this is a one source environment. I'll show you while demo and the target environment. So moving to the next, why Power Automate? The first question. Now basically we are having a two set of a developer nowadays. One is a pro developer who used to write code, a lot of code, and second we are having a citizen developer. Citizen developer, like there is some configuration of it. We are having already Power Automate. Basically, it's a wrapper. Whatever the API that we have written, it's just on the top of wrapper, by which you can configure the things by source and the destination and the parameter, and that's all you are. That's ready to use. So it's a better like for the citizen developer who do not have a dive knowledge or in-depth knowledge of writing programming APIs. The second best part of the Power Automate, we are having ready to use connectors. Nowadays, I explored a few days before, the exact count is a 526, and it's increasing day by day. The ready to use connectors available in the Power Automate. It's also promote the Power Platform technology as a low code platform. So yes, the Power Automate, like we need to only configure, we need not to write any code. Yes, if you are doing any manipulation inside a Power Automate, then you can use simple formulas like that we use to do in a Microsoft Excel. So that's a USP of the Power Automate. This is not the Microsoft basically added n number of templates available by which you can just select your template. Like if you want to get a data from a Twitter, so we are having already template available. You just need to use the template, and you just need to configure. You sign in with your user detail, and whatever the Twitter handle tweets you want to see, you want to track, that's ready to use. So such templates already available on the same pattern. If you want to send any email kind of thing, so you just need to use connector and configure the thing. The major aspect now, like nowadays, that we are using Power Automate for the approval system. Like approval system, if I would talk, so that's a just take example like for leave approval system, like you are applying a leave to your manager, and that the certain level of approval available. So you know what exactly, there is a 2 days SLA. Suppose you applied a leave and that's supposed to approve by your manager within 2 days, and if not, then it will escalate to the your boss of your the second level. I mean, to your from your manager to manager. So that kind of approval system, it's already template available in the Power Automate that we can harness for our ready to use. So the next part, connectors. It's a you kind of a USP of the Power Automate. Basically, how exactly nowadays it's used a lot. A connector is just like a proxy or wrapper around the API that allow the underlying service to talk with a Microsoft Power Automate. So in background, we are having, suppose you are having API. On the top of API, we have given some graphical interface so that the user, the actual API layer is abstract from the user, and he will only see what exactly the need to provide the configuration set of data. So that's a connector R. And the connector come in a 3 flavor. Let me open a URL basically by which you can see the available connector. So there is a link. AMS of connectors. So the connectors come in 3 flavor like nowadays, like a standard connector, premier connector, and the preview connector. So if you go to this page and you will click on the list of connectors, So these are the list of connectors available, and if I zoom it for you, so it's already mentioned. This in a preview, like a question comes, why we have segregated the connectors, the standard connectors, premium connectors, because this is tightly coupled with the licensing mechanism. That's why we have segregated these connectors on the different category. And the another place where you can find the connectors, like if I go to the flow.microsoft.com and let me log in it. Okay, if you go to the connectors, here also the another place that you can find the connectors. In case there is a tag available, premium connectors, and these are the standard connectors which don't have any tag. And for the premium connectors, you can see there's a premium connector. There is also a facility that you can search the connectors from the top. On the same front, like if you want to connect any SQL, so SQL connectors available here, and all of the premium connectors. So the next thing, type of licenses. Like we ask, like the licenses come in two flavors, like a seeded plan. Seeded plan is like suppose you are having subscription of Dynamics 365, Microsoft Windows, and you can Office 365. So you get some add-on licenses of Power Automate along with their subscription. So they are known as a seeded plan. That's come with your parent licenses. And apart from that, if that is not workable, you need some extra thing, then you can go with the standalone plans. Per user plan, per user with attached RPA, RPA standard remote process, and per flow prompt. I'll take another session on the basically licensing mechanism. It's a very vast topic that we cannot cover on a sort of span. So what another good aspect, like just to show you here. The one question, why we use premium connectors and why we need standard connectors. Suppose we are having a two scope, like in context and out context. Like suppose you are using a Power Apps, and the Power Apps you are using a Power Automate, and you are only just playing with the Power Automate, like adding record, retrieving record, deleting record, editing record. So that's in context. And for that, you need not to get an additional license. Whatever the Power Automate, that licensing that you need, that will come with your parent, like a Dynamics 365 licenses. Suppose, but yeah, there are some other features, like you are creating an interaction with SAP system, you are creating a connection with a third-party system, which are not in your application context. You are going out of context. For that, you need licenses for that. So if you want to check whether what licenses you are having, so you just need to go here, like office.com, your seeded plan licenses, and just go to the admin center. Click on the users, any users, and if you go to the license and app tab, then you will see these are the licenses which come as a free with your tenant. This divide across the tenant. So if you assign any licenses to user, so it will automatically, the count will change here. So any question until now, Sanjay?
There's no question still now.
Okay.
We can proceed here.
Now we are going to focus on today's topic, like synchronizing the two environments. So for that we need to invoke a data versus API inside a Power Automate. So it was basically a quite confusing. I struggled a lot while calling a Dynamics 365 API inside a Power Automate. So there are endpoints which come with the application user. So let me open the Azure subscription, and that will give you where to get the endpoints. I have registered application user with this Azure directory. Service user, and this will be used in a Power Automate for the catering. And if you open the endpoints, so you will get this window. So if you are using this OAuth authentication 2.10, right, then you have to pass STD call like this with grant type equal to user credentials, client ID which is, if you go to the this detail like, and the application secret, which this one, it's appear only once. So whenever you create any client certificate, you supposed to copy this value, otherwise you will not able to get it again. So the important aspect is you need to get the endpoints, right, by which you will call your data API inside in the Power Automate, and you all need the client ID and the certificates. Okay, so let's jump to the straight on the demo purpose.
Girish, I have a question here.
Yeah.
So when you displayed the endpoint from the Azure Active Directory, that endpoint is same for all environment that we have, or it is different?
So the difference is here, like let me open this. So this is the basically specific to this the environment, right?
Okay.
If you're not using this, like this is a common. But if you're using this environment GUID, that's a specific to this environment. So while authentication, we need to think like if you are putting like a this one. Let me open. Common. So this will applicable to all the environment which lie into a specific tenant. But if you're putting like on this URL, so the authentication authorization will work for this specific environment. Okay. Why basically we need a bearer token to whatever the user is logging. So he need to get bearer token to authorize to access the Dynamics 365 APIs.
Right. Got it. Thank you.
So for this demo, I've created two environment: target environment and source environment. Like I'll create record in a source environment, and that will reflect into a target environment. So if I open this, let's quickly jump to the flow.microsoft.com. So what exactly we need? Basically, we need a two Power Automate job. The one that will run on a source system, and the second Power Automate job will run on the target system. So This is a source environment where we'll create the incidents, and for that we just need to use a connector, Microsoft Dataverse, and we will use rows added, modified, or deleted. The trigger we need to will select a trigger added or modified, because we just wanted, like if I add a new case, that will reflect to the target environment, and if I update any cases in source environment, that also changes reflect to the target environment. The entity, I'll select the cases, and scope. Scope, I'll take it a organization, because this the flow will run for all the users. Next, we have to add a next step, like a HTTP call that will invoke the target system flow. So for that, I need to go on a target system, like, and I need to add a HTTP request. So the URL will generate once I'll save this, and this URL I'll use in the source environment Power Automate to invoke this Power Automate. I'll use one, and I will use a compose variable.
You have to use parse JSON, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Let me put the first in here. Post. Okay.
if you want to use case ID, you have to take a parse-JSON step before the compose.
That I'll do it later. I just
Oh, okay. Because you will only have body here, right? Okay,
I just wanted to receive this the case ID.
that's right. Okay.
I'll copy this URL and I'll put here. Just see. So now we are done with the source environment flow. The only responsible for this, the job for this flow, like it will trigger whenever any case is created or modified on a source environment, right? That will pass the case ID to the target environment flow. So now here, the next step, like we need to get the HTTP token. So before that, okay, just wait for a while. Basically, by this call, we are going to hit the Azure tenant for the authentication authorization purpose. So I've already shown you, like in the PPT, we are going to use this mechanism, this endpoint, and the client ID. I've already created app user. Let me show you. Okay, portal.azure.com. Okay, fine. So this is the app user, and if you go to the endpoints, so this is a client ID, and the secret key which I've created already saved in a notepad file. So I'll use the same stuff here. Let me close this window. Sorry guys, I think I've opened a lot of windows which is not required. So let me close each one. That's creating a confusion. Okay, fine. I'll put the URL here, and the headers I need to define the content type, and it will be URL encoded. On the body side, I am just going to straight away copy, which I pasted here. I'll put this copy and paste it over there. So now we are done with the authentication with your the source environment. So let me create a case and then we'll go further. That's all. Save and close. Time to reflect this. Okay. This is source environment Power Automate, and if you can see the case ID that we are passing here, we will retrieve in this Power Automate job. Okay, and this also invoke this one. It's a fail. Okay, I'll check why it's failing. So this is a case ID that we have created in a source environment, and on the Power Automate side, Sanjay, what's the time constraint that we are having today?
We will complete by 11.
11.
Yeah. So just 15 minutes more. It can be completed, I hope. Let us see.
You know what exactly? I have already did this practice. So if you are in alignment that I can show what exactly it's already running at my end. I did a demo for myself.
Right.
So
right.
we can
No
run that.
issue. No issue. You can proceed.
I have already created, so I can just take you all the audience was already built-in Power Automate, or I create a from fresh. It will take time, at least 20 more minutes more. Given
Okay.
the
No issue.
speed, which
No issue, because we have seen that how it works, because we have created some HTTP trigger, and we have posted that trigger to that flow. We have seen many things, but we just need to wind up the last thing to check whether that case is going to that target or not. That's why.
okay, let me show you. Okay, fine. Let me turn off it, and I'm showing you the actual running copy.
Yeah.
On the source environment, like this is a step where we are getting our bearer token. Then we'll pass that token. We'll receive the token in the next step. And now we have to hit again the source environment by getting this token that we are getting from this HTTP GET token authentication. And at this step, what exactly we'll do, we'll just pass the authorization, the bearer token that we'll get from here. And on the filter side, the incident, the case ID, the output of the case ID that will pass the case ID. So this, the HTTP step will retrieve the case detail inside the target environment, and then we'll do the parsing of the case record. And here is a parsing steps on, and then on the last, basically we need to check whether the case is already available in a source environment. So if the case is already available in the source environment, right, then we'll just update the case, existing case, and if not, then we will update, and then we'll create a new case here. So that's the entire logic. So if I show you here, it was a quite lost topic last, We cannot cover such a long detail in a so short span time. So if I create a new case here, Sanjay, I will basically export these two flows, the source and target flow, and post it
Yes.
in the chat window. So probably the audience can get help.
Yeah, no problem. You can export the flow so that we can also practice.
Oh, sorry. This is source environment.
I think you filter by all cases maybe.
You can see the source one case which I have created here. The source one case
Right.
that's created here. And if I make an update here, I just updated the case title. It's a work on asynchronous mode, so that's why it's take up.
It will take some time more. Yeah, we actually understand, okay, because it's okay because it will take some time because it's because of asynchronous. So
Yes.
can you export this to Power Automate flow so that users can attendees can work on their own environment?
Yeah, after this demo, I'll export this.
No issue. The most critical part is this flow, this Power Automate,
Yes.
right? The
Yes.
the source Power Automate is very simple. Looks like
Yeah.
can you go to the source Power Automate?
So this is source power automate. It's a
This is
simply
simple.
basically.
Yeah, we are just posting to this endpoint that is created in the HTTP target trigger. Then we are passing the case ID. Okay.
Yes, that's why it's a failing. I need to check. It was running successfully.
Yeah.
The all the the complexity lies on the source target environment where we
Target.
have to
Yes.
authenticate and all those things.
Yes. Yes.
It's a failing. Strange. Okay. In the meanwhile, let me export this for. So, Sanjay, shall I send you over the email or what exactly? How I'll share this? Or in the same team chat window?
Same chat window you can share so that user can download and check in their end.
Be slow. Bad request. Another inquiry syntax. Where? Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll check this basically. I think there is something misaligned. I was doing some changes this morning.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
that. Let me export this.
Okay, no issue. So we will have to wind up this session, and we understand actually the synchronization, how we can synchronize case records or any record we can think of from one environment, source environment, to another target environment in Dataverse or Dynamics 365 system using this Power Automate concept.
Oh, I think the guest user I cannot share a files.
Oh, okay.
I'm not getting a way out.
It's not
Hey, Girish,
allowing.
I can give you my GitHub access. You can upload there, and the
Yeah,
link
sure.
is on.
I'll do that.
Tell me your GitHub ID.
It's a Grijesh.Dixit. Mm, the worst part where it's a fail. Sorry, it's my bad.
Srinidhi is asking that I'm Power Platform newbie, and in the Power Platform we have a data integration scenario step. Can you explain about this? Okay, see, Srinidhi, this data integration concept is a new concept in Power Platform, and it requires more time to cover. So we will plan another session for this data integration so that we can learn more. Okay, so I hope you understand. And yeah, Girish, have you said that? Also, if you can share later on, we can
Yeah,
share to the users,
I
no
will
issue.
send it.
Okay.
Girish, can you repeat your ID, please?
It's a Grijesh.Dixit. Just wait for a minute.
Yep, I think I send the invite if you can.
Just wait. Sanjay, I'm sharing these two flow in a couple of minutes. In the
No
meanwhile,
issue.
getting
No
delayed,
issue.
and
We can
definitely.
share with others later on also. When I will share the recording of this session, I can
Okay.
share these GIT hub links once you upload it. Okay.
In the meanwhile, I'll get time to correct the exact issue while getting that encountering in the update. So that
No
is better.
problem.
Give a running copy to all the audience.
Yeah, just resolve the error and you just export that. So everyone, thank you for your time. It's very interesting that you have joined, and this is awesome to interact with community with different diversified topics. And Rakesh, thank you for your time also, and Jogendra and Girijesh and everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session. We will also planning another big session for Power Platform and Dynamics. So stay tuned, and I will be also sharing this recording as soon as I prepare the recording videos, and Girijesh will export the flows, and Jogendra will also share the links where you can download the dataset. So thank you everyone. Thank you Rakesh. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.
Bye
Thank you.
everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.